It's not a bird, it's not a plane, it's Superhero Slate. It's a weekly podcast where we talk about everything that's great. Like movies, TV, superheroes. It's Superhero Slate. Oh, yeah.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Superhero Slate, the show where we run down the latest superhero entertainment news.
We love TV, movies, and superheroes, so let's talk it all out.
My name is Chris.
And my name is... Get my fingernails underneath this thing. There we go. My name's Mike.
All right, and this week we review Wonder Man, the limited series, special presentation from Marvel that dropped on Disney Plus this week. We're going to talk about all 8 episodes later in the show. The Fast franchise lasts forever. We're going to talk about the Fast movies, the next one coming out as well. And we're going to talk about sex criminals, but not those sex criminals.
Yeah, I didn't realize when the news dropped this week. I was like, oh, they're kind of like... They might be cannibalizing their own search terms right now on Google.
Well, not a good week to drop that term, but it is a comic series. We're going to talk about that and more on this week's episode.
Yes. Chris, did you discern any sort of quality to the popping of my drink here in the intro of the show?
Absolutely not. It sounded like you were struggling pretty hard over there, buddy, to be completely
Are you sure
honest.
it did? But Chris, are you sure it didn't sound a little creamy? Did it sound a little creamy coming through in the headphones?
No, it did not, actually. It sounded like the opposite of that.
Yes, because if you tuned in last week, I went on and on about the creaminess of 2026. So I'm bringing it right now to this episode. I got another Hum Probiotic Kombucha Nitro Creamy with 3 M's Blackberry Vanilla. And it's a bit of a puzzle opening this thing. I was a little concerned because the first time I had one of these, I opened it, and then immediately after I opened it, I realized there's text that says to shake, shake, shake before opening. So I guess when you are nitricizing a drink, it needs to be activated a little bit. Yeah. So the second one I had the other day, I kind of vigorously shook it, and when I opened it, it went absolutely everywhere. So there's no metering here. There's no essence of how I'm supposed to be shaking it. So I did a little kind of not a shake, but I did an up down kind of twist of it. A couple minutes before we started recording. So so far, no blowouts. Okay. I did bring a piece of paper towel just in case, but it's creamy, it's vanilla-y, it's blackberry-y. If you could smell it, it'd be delicious.
Yeah. I just got a Coke Zero, and I have a quote from last week that someone sent me after last week's episode, and I quote, one of us said, a one-off cream event, and I would like to stick to that being the one-off cream event, Mike, if we could make that happen.
Technically, it's not possible anymore. This is a 2-off cream event.
Yeah, well, we can make this the last one. It was a fun while it lasted. I'm glad we had a good time. It's a new month, new us. No,
Chris, we get the Super Bowl coming up. We're always prone to talk about snacks around that time, and it is technically February, which is the release month of the. I think is it just ice cream float cherry Coke Zero or something?
Yeah,
there's a lot of creamy. There's a lot of creamy drinks coming out soon. I know the Mountain Dew, the Dirty Mountain Dew, is either this month or next month.
Yes.
Chris, if you're hoping for a one-off cream event, you're absolutely right.
I am
creaming all over the podcast.
I don't like it. I don't like it at all. It hurts me. I felt just as bad as typing in the word "sex criminals" into Google right now. I feel dirty. I am playing. I have a little fidget toy. Usually when I'm on the show. Today's fidget toy, Mike, is actually something I don't know if we haven't talked about yet. So McDonald's is bringing back the changeables. You remember the changeables?
Oh, I saw that. Yeah.
Yeah. So I've got I had enough points in my McDonald's app to buy myself a Happy Meal because obviously I don't have kids. So I am the child, and I got one, and it's a little it's a box. It's just like a little square box that splits in half. And you open up a little dinosaur head, arms, and a tail pops out. It's not as extravagant as I expect, but it's a free McDonald's toy. I'm having a good time with this little dude. So if you guys remember the changeables where the hamburgers flipped into stuff and the drinks and the fries all turned into things, we're bringing those back if you want to get some. Because I'm just having so much fun just flipping this guy open and pulling his little T-Rex arms out the whole time. Because you were asking me right before we got literally seconds before we recorded like what the weather was like here, and I'm happy to say last night it was 0 degrees when I got home from.
That's not happy.
Yeah,
that's not happy at all.
No,
insane.
Yeah, I was not happy, but it was 0 degrees today, and it was funny because I was looking, I was like, oh, what's it gonna be like today? I'm like, oh, it's 26 out. It's kind of warm, and I'm like, what? Who have I become? Everything. Our roads are clear, but like the snow hasn't melted, and what has like slowly melted with the sun has turned into ice overnight. So like we're in a perpetual whiteout here in the Midwest.
Oh, well, you text me earlier this week. You said like you had pipes bursting. Just out of nowhere?
Yeah. So I am very well aversed of running water during snowstorms. I grew up in a very small house that was very not insulated. Most of our water was actually we had spring water, like growing up, like not even like city water. It was spring water. So it was a very unique situation. So I'm very familiar with don't let your pipes freeze or you won't have water in your house. And so I've been running water in my basement, despite having pretty good insulation here. And I think it was Tuesday. I was on a call for work and I heard I just shoveled the driveway. My wife had gone out to shovel the other half. And I heard what I thought was maybe like the shower running upstairs. Then I looked and she's like still outside shoveling snow. So I went. So I went to my storage room area where like my 3D printer and all my other stuff is, and I was like, "Oh, there's just water shooting right into the house." The outside spigot had frozen, and I will be completely transparent with you. These are the original ones that came with the house, like the little twist faucets. They had that teal. Like, they needed to be replaced. I just hadn't got to the point where I'm like, this has to be replaced yet. It had exploded on the outside of the house and was shooting water profusely back into the house. It knocked the insulation into the house, and there was just a stream of water coming in. So, thankfully, I'm well versed where the water main is. I turned it off, found out the spigots had their own shut-off valve, turned those off, drained them, and... I don't have to worry about this until spring. This spring Chris's problem at this point, but like, boy, I've been running that sink in the basement since this started. So for a week straight, I'd been running that sink, and then that happened to me, and I'm like, no matter what you do, Mike, no matter how prepared you think you are, Mother Nature, she'll give you the middle finger and say, "Too bad, I didn't like that. You got to have to do it the other way." So. No damages, no life loss. Nothing was actually destroyed, thankfully. But boy, I'm just thankful that was like a work from home day. Like if I hadn't been home, I can't imagine what that would have turned into. After that, funny enough, I actually have a water leak sensor in that room just in case, but it's on the other side where the actual drain is to the floor. So it didn't go off yet, but I would have been curious to see if that preparation had paid off if I'd been at home or at work or somewhere out of the house for that. So, winter wonderland over here. But Super Bowl, let's talk about this because, while I've been preparing the recording day, my lovely wife went to the grocery store for the week, and coming off a winter storm, everyone's got their milk and bread out of the way, so we don't need milk and bread. But we needed to start prepping for the Super Bowl snacks next week. Is next Sunday. We are a week away today. And I am a big fan. I bought last year. I've had one before. It's a 3, like not mini, but 3 smaller crock pot thing that I can put 3 different dips in, right? Keep those cooked. And then one big crock pot, which I'm going to do my meatballs, barbecue sauce, and peach preserves because those are very popular here. I'm going to do one Velveeta Rotel cheese dip and one spicy Velveeta Rotel cheese dip in the little one. And I don't know what to put in the third little smaller crock pot. Mike, do you have any recommendations that are easy that I don't have to really think about too hard?
That's a great question. I know this isn't really a dip or an appetizer, but it took me until I was nearly 40 years old to finally for the first time make crock pot chicken and salsa. It's like a tried and true dish that I've seen as like a quote unquote viral food hack for my entire existence, and I never made it once because it's so simple. It's just literally chicken and salsa. Like you can add some other stuff to it. Like if you want it to be like creamier, you can throw cream cheese in there.
Would you quit with the cream? We're done with the cream for the show.
But I did just salsa and chicken, and it came out like amazing. Yeah. I mean, use chicken thighs if you want it to taste delicious. Like, I don't mess with chicken breast and like pulling it. It doesn't work out well. Yeah. But it was like amazing. I mean, it's more of like a thing that you like eat with other stuff, but it was freaking delicious.
Okay.
So yeah, you could give that a shot.
Yeah, we've told everyone to bring, like appetizers to this, and I don't want to overdo it, but I need to figure out that's I've never heard of chicken salsa. This is the first time hearing of it myself. So that's interesting to me. But yeah, I'm just thinking we've got this. I'm going to be hosting, doing everything else. I don't want something I have to like put a lot of time into. I'd rather just, like I said, forget it. But I'm like, I've got stuff for everybody. Maybe that's my solution. If anybody who's listening has one for that, let me know. I'm very interested in this because I want to solve this earlier in the week. I don't want to be the guy shopping on Sunday morning for Super Bowl snack stuff at the store.
I mean, you brought up a good point. If you are making anything Velveeta based, get it now. Yeah. Like, I remember last year, extremely hard to track down a practical amount of Velveeta cheese. Even if you go like off-brand or store brand, like all of the modest to small size bricks are like sold out, and you're left with like a gigantic choice of like the biggest brick they sell, and you just don't need that much Velveeta in a calendar year. So
the limit does not exist. I disagree. I think you can find a reason to do that.
So you got about a week now. Grocery stores kind of usually start to implement their sales on like, either today or Wednesday. Sometimes like Wednesdays is like the double deal day, if you will. So try to get there maybe before Wednesday, and maybe you can track down your Velveeta.
We were at the store yesterday and I saw the stuff out, and I'm like, I need to get I'm more worried about the chip situation than the Velveeta. Having too much Velveeta, that's not a problem. That's not the problem I'm concerned about. It's the running out of I'm a Frito Scoops man. I know my chip of choice when I'm dipping. It's a corn chip and it's a scoop. I know running out of those is like my biggest paranoia. Like, I'm like not having enough Frito Scoops. So I get in there and I get them early and bring those to the table, because that's what I need along the way. But that brings us to the other part, not just a Super Bowl about the food. It's mostly about the food for us. It's about the commercials, the trailers. Mm-hmm. And I'd sent you as I was earlier today, like the top 6 ones I saw, and then I put a couple more on here of what I'd like to see of what we people think the trailers are going to be at the Super Bowl, and I'm going to run through them, and you tell me yes or no if you think it's going to be there or not, Mike. How about that? And we'll start with Avengers Doomsday. Do you think we're going to get a full one with Dr. Doom at this role?
It's got to be. I can't think of anything more confirmed than this.
Okay. Well, okay, then that's good, because the other Marvel property this year is Spider-Man Brand New Day. Do you think we're going to get one of those?
Yeah, I was taking a moment to think about it, really, because historically on the show, I feel like we have always tried our best to predict when Sony is going to do anything. And we absolutely never get it right. So I would say the Spider-Man's a pretty big wild card. I'll be unsurprised either way.
I'm going to go with yes, simply because I've seen the leaked trailer so many times. I'm like in different places. I'm like, they have one. They're sitting on it. And this is obviously, the closest thing that, Marvel and Sony get to $1 billion movie for a solo character. It's got to be Spider-Man, right? Like, even what was the one in No Way Home? It got $1 billion plus kind of thing. So this is a big property in a very busy year of movies. So I'm gonna lean yes. Mandalorian and Grogu, a full trailer. We haven't seen anything in a hot minute, it feels like, for this. I feel like the one we got for Avatar was the same one I've seen several times. I need some story points. I need some action. I hope they have this, Mike. It comes out in May. If not, I think they're leaving an opportunity on the table. What do you think?
Yeah, I think we need an element in one of these trailers to kind of start the hype train. I don't know if it's going to be like a small glimpse of maybe another like Yoda life form, right? To kind of confirm, we might finally get to see the origin of where this species comes from, or maybe a glimpse of like a unique type of stormtrooper we've never seen before. It needs something fresh because everything we've seen in the trailer, like, it looks cool, but it's all kind of like reminiscent of stuff we've already seen in the show.
It's safe. It feels too safe so far, and I don't want safe. I do think Rada. It's not Rada. It's the Hutt, the Jabba the Hutt's kid, who's in this is like a gladiator. We've seen like the back of him. I want to see that in action. I want to see how they handle a buff Jabba the Hutt style character in this show, and it's voiced by Jeremy Allen White, so obviously big actor there. I want to see that. I don't know what else to bring, but I think we need that. Toy Story 5. I think last time we just got was a teaser, like the tablet is coming. This movie, Pixar does, we talk about this all the time, Pixar does a shit job marketing their films. Like every time we talk about a Pixar film, like, yeah, it's a great movie, nobody watched it because nobody knew about it or didn't care about the trailers. So I feel like we're going to get something, but I think it's going to be not enough to get people talking after the Super Bowl. Any thoughts?
Yeah, I was just thinking back to some of the Hoppers trailers that we have seen. I mean, I don't know if Hoppers makes it into the Super Bowl because, is it coming out too soon and it doesn't need the marketing push? But those trailers have been hilarious because the movie just looks really funny. So, you don't really need like a gimmick. I feel like Pixar is always great at making trailers with gimmicks in it, which kind of maybe leaves you a little bit more confused than anything else. Yeah. Or like, oh, is this actually going to be footage in the movie type of deal, which I feel like the Toy Story teasers 5 that we've gotten, like it doesn't look like it's actually footage from the movie. It's more looks like it's just made to tease us. Yeah. So, I'm excited for Hoppers. So I would think that they have a trailer ready to go in front of Hoppers, which I think is March. So we might see Toy Story.
Yeah, I think Toy Story is the Hoppers may be a sleeper hit, but Toy Story is the one that needs to land, right? Like that's their. Is that Pixar's golden child? Is this their bread and butter? They're like, this is the one they started and have ridden. I mean, surprisingly longer than anyone ever expected.
I just saw a headline. I'm not familiar with this rich individual. But there was a headline that this person was opening their own feature animation studio, and they already had maybe it was like a first look deal or something with like Sony or something like that. And this feels like it's maybe riding off of the high of these $1 billion box office successes of like Inside Out 2.
Zootopia 2 just passed Avengers Endgame in China to be
which is absolutely insane. Like you never would have expected it. So I wonder if like Hollywood is starting to go like, oh, maybe the solution to like our box office woes and not being able to get those pre-pandemic numbers is just to crank out some, I would say, good animated movies. They might not be taking that as the lesson, but yeah, good animated movies.
Yeah, I think the turnaround times are worse on those, but we'll see what they can do. But speaking of animated movies, the next two as well, Minions 3. I absolutely expect a Minions trailer at every Super Bowl, even if there's not a Minions or Despicable Me movie. It's like a parasite that you can't get rid of.
Well, I just saw that. I think the title is going to be called like Minions and Monsters. So this doesn't really. This is not going to get me to go see a Minions movie, but at least it could be kind of fun if there's like literal monsters in it. Like I don't know if they're talking about just generic like blob with fangs and bat wings, or are we thinking Dracula and Frankenstein? But that would be kind of cool if like the Minions were like working for Frankenstein. That'd be fun.
Yeah, I think maybe the trailer I saw was like maybe even like, was it maybe Despicable Me 4? They had like the superhero style Minions, like where they were like, this one's a Hulk, they have like powers, so could be that. I don't know, but yeah, I think that would be, short of jumping the shark, how was it the movies used to be like Laurel and Hardy Meet the Wolfman and stuff like that, like stuff. So I don't think it's jumping the shark yet, but it is Universal, so you're probably right. Super Mario Galaxy movie. I know we just last week we talked about this. I don't think we're gonna. I think if we get anything, it'll be a cut down of that one. I don't think it'll be new. I think it'll be a cut down. But Nintendo's got money.
I don't think we're getting a go see the full trailer on YouTube. I think you're right. It'll be like a 20, 30 second spot. I don't know if there's Are there like Super Bowl minimums? Can you like get just 15 seconds?
Yes.
It'll be like maybe one extra new clip of like Yoshi, but same cut, but maybe one new angle of Yoshi maybe laying an egg or something like that.
I do think they have. I think 30 is, but I swear to God I've seen those 15-second ones where they're like, this is like back when the Tide Ad airs or the Doritos era, they'll just do like a quick callback to their original 30-second. So maybe it's in the later half of the movie or half of the Super Bowl, if they're looking to do that. So I don't know. My two guesses, I think we're gonna get a Mortal Kombat 2 trailer, and I only say this, Mike, because that movie's coming out in May. Like this movie has to kick off the summer, or if it lands flat on its face, it's not critically financially, it'll be the end for Mortal Kombat movies. But I think they're gonna have to start promoting it sooner than later for this.
Yeah, and they kind of have to reintroduce it too. I mean, it just kind of like quietly, I guess, in comparison to how things are marketed now, quietly dropped in like the pandemic of like, oh, I can just watch this feature film on HBO Max. Nobody remembers it.
Well, that, and also they did the marketing like 2 years ago, year and a half ago, because they thought it was going to come out last fall. And then when the Avengers movies moved, they moved it up to May. And I was like, oh, this has gone dormant. This is essentially sitting dormant until it kicks off again. So that needed to, and then also with the hype of Street Fighter, right? Street Fighter's coming up. I don't know if you noticed, last night was a UFC title fight or something. And one of the people in Street Fighter was going for the lightweight title in the UFC. Like I think he's actually a fighter / actor kind of thing. So a lot of synergy there. So Mortal Kombat 2 needs to get ahead of Street Fighter, even though they're different parts of the year. And then lastly, Clayface. This is something from DC. We've seen the Supergirl stuff. We've seen the Lobo stuff. I think Clayface will have maybe a sneak introduction, right? This comes out in October. That's a little bit, 7 months of stuff. DC may want to come forward with a little Clayface. Maybe I could be wrong here and they don't want to do it until after Supergirl's out, but I think there's an opportunity to do that.
So they could harken back to their old days, right? Remember when they made that Super Bowl commercial promoting all of the DC stuff that was going to come out? Like
the fandom.
Yeah, exactly. Like you just wait. You're gonna get more Aquaman. You're gonna get more of Flash. It's gonna be crazy. And then it all went downhill. Yeah. But they could maybe do that now, and maybe it would excite people. They could show like Supergirl, because they got footage for that for sure. Yeah. They could show Clayface. I'm sure they got more stuff from Lanterns,
Creature Commandos,
and then. I don't know if anything from Mr. Miracle has been animated or not, but
it probably,
I think you could kind of you could put like a pretty hype reel together for stuff coming to the DC universe, and maybe like at the very end, like maybe James Gunn has gotten Lex and Superman like back into like a studio somewhere, maybe just in front of like a volume, to just take like one like 3 second like still image or something, and then they went about their day and did something else.
Well, it's Super Bowl. They obviously would film a spot for it. I don't think they would. I think if they're spending this amount of money, they would do something for it. But I think that they are doing a lot of prep for it. But I think the Clayface would be like, how cool, like it's like someone, you think it's someone else, but like their face is like molding and transforming like clay, like they're showing off the effects more than the actual story, would be something cool here along the way. But maybe it's Superman. Maybe he looks like Superman and he molds himself back into the actor who's playing it. It says Clayface 2026. So I don't know. That's what I want. Is there anything I left off here? I mean, it's hard to not know what you don't know, but I think for TV shows, Disney Plus, we're going to get like sizzle reels, nothing standalone. We have like one trailer later to talk about from Disney Plus. Probably the same for Paramount. All of those TV series are probably just going to do HBO. We talked about maybe doing a sizzle reel as well. Anything else you can think of?
I was thinking also like Disney Plus sizzle reel.
Yeah,
somewhere in here.
Yeah, I think so. I think they'll do a Disney Plus sizzle. I think everything. Moana 2 is probably a high chance with The Rock and how much that movie costs. But I don't know if we're gonna. I'm not gonna put my money on. Like, I'm not gonna go into like here's all the Disney stuff. But I think we're gonna see The Rock this year.
I have a extreme dark horse idea of. I think didn't Universal pick up the Lego rights for like Lego movies like years ago? We haven't heard anything about it.
Yeah,
It'd be kind of cool if it'd be cool if they like drop some news during the Super Bowl of like, oh, we're gonna Legofy this.
Let's see here. It just says, I don't know. Universal Pictures bought the rights to make separate films in a 5-year deal. And I don't know how long ago that was.
Oh, that was a while ago. That might be expiring. Never mind.
Yeah, very hard to tell. Universal Pictures entered negotiations in 2019.
Oh, God. Yeah, that's already expired then.
2023 said a live-action animation hybrid with the Addams or Nee brothers, I guess, however you want to call them, attached to it. I think we talked about that. So I don't know. That may fall apart, but we'll see if they do anything with that. Moving on, another dark horse. I'm calling on everyone I can on the show, Mike. I can count on you, count on myself. The Muppet Show is doing a special presentation this Wednesday, February 4th, with Seth Rogen, the original Muppets, bring it back, Sabrina Carpenter, probably lots more. I'm trying not to read into it. I've seen early previews. But we need your help to tune in and watch The Muppet Show this week, because these numbers will make sure it gets to show. And this isn't the Muppets The Office fake out from like 10 years ago. And this isn't Muppets Tonight from the 90s. This is more akin to the classic Muppet Show. Behind the scenes, celebrity guests, lots of jokes, 30 minutes long. I will be watching this as much as I can, or at least putting it out on the social, getting visibility on it. So if anyone else wants to help do that, I would very much appreciate it. Mike, I can count on you. As I sit here with my Muppet Treasure Island mug that Mike got for me in the park.
We got to make it happen. And also, if you are or aren't a Sabrina Carpenter fan, and maybe you might not realize this, but she's really funny. She did, not last year, but 2024, I believe. She did a Netflix Christmas special that I checked out, and she's really hilarious in front of the camera. I don't know much about her, but was she like a Mickey Mouse house?
Well,
what do they call those kids? Or wasn't she
Clubhouse?
On the Disney Channel or something?
Well, I think she was on there, but she also did like a lot of YouTubes, like early, like when she was younger, like YouTube stuff, like skits and sketches. So like comes from an acting background and happened to evolve into a singer. Recently.
I don't know. Yeah, and every time she's on SNL, hilarious. So I think this is like a picture perfect combo of putting the Muppets, and then also, the Muppets are taking over the Rock and Roller Coaster down in Florida. So the Muppets need our help to stay relevant. We can't just be retheming theme park rides with them. We need more. I really want a stuffed Rizzo, and I'm not getting a stuffed plush Rizzo unless the Muppets can prove that they can make money.
One of the cool things about this, they did confirm Rizzo is back. The first time Rizzo has been heard in years was like last month. So Rizzo has a voice actor and a puppeteer, and I think there was somebody else too that came back. But as someone who one of the core pillars of my identity is the Muppets and their use of puns and visual gags. I am 100% down for this, and I'm excited. Mike, I'm glad you're excited. I'm glad everyone's excited. And Seth Rogen's funny too. Like, let's not forget Seth. Like, this is a Seth Rogen. I think he said 7 year. He's been working on this project, so it's not done lightly. It's not done quickly. So I'm hoping that we can get something and kind of continue forward with that.
Yes, it's on Wednesday. If you're listening to this week.
Yes, we'll remind you next week to go back and watch it again, so you can get two views in for us. We appreciate that. Mike, I got the best birthday announcement ever this week. My birthday's not this week. My birthday's St. Patrick's Day, and Vin Diesel has come onto social media to say that he has announced Fast and Furious 11, called Fast Forever, will be dropping March 17th, 2028. Which will be over 5 years since Fast 10 came out, and that ended on a cliffhanger. So I would guarantee you that kid who was in that is going to be like a teenager or more by the time this one comes out. So they'll probably have to do some recasting or
maybe
digital de-aging.
Maybe they'll build it into the script, right? Put in a time break between it. Yeah. I mean, that would be kind of interesting.
They're not that smart. They're not that smart.
Well,
but
I don't like these movies. I kind of watch them, and not in an enjoying way. I watch them just to kind of stay in the zeitgeist. So at least maybe a time frame could add a little bit more intrigue of like, oh, what have these characters been up to during this death-defying cliffhanger, which was it down a dam or something?
Well, there was
driving down the Hoover Dam or something.
No, he was at the bottom of the dam, and Jason Momoa blew up the dam, I think, at the top of it, right? Like, and they were like kind of at the bottom, so we don't know where he's going to do. The other one, the plane with all the other people, was hijacked by Reacher, the actor who plays Reacher, and they were going to crash the plane. People who die in these things come back all the time. He also the photo had what's his name? His name's Brian in the show, who passed away a long time ago. They're probably going to find a way to CGI him in here somewhere to end this. So I'm not excited, but the length has me intrigued that maybe they forced them to actually make something like, hey, you can't just make the shittiest movie again. We actually have to do something here, or it's done. I'm going to guess this is the last one, like, until they reboot it, probably later. Like, I think this is it.
I think the only good thing that this franchise has given us is probably, and it's no one's even ridden it yet, but there's a Fast and the Furious roller coaster that's opening this summer out here at Universal Studios, and the park has desperately needed a real legitimate roller coaster. So we're getting one, and it's due to the brute force of the box office power of Fast and Furious.
That's right. I miss street racing. Remember when they were used to steal VCRs in the first movie, and how far we've come from that?
Hey, they could go back to stealing VCRs. They're expensive now. They're collectible.
That's right. I know. I've got some. If you need one, I can we can even drive down the interstate and I can throw it across the line for you guys if you want me to. Fast and Furious style. But Fast Forever coming out March 17th, 2028. God of War, we talked a little bit about last week. New additions to the cast include actor Ólafur Darri Ólafsson from Severance. He's
the big guy.
He's a big guy. He will be playing Thor in the live action, and I can totally see that if you go look up God of War Thor. And then Mandy, is it Patinkin? I don't know how to pronounce his last name. Patinkin. As Odin, and you may remember him as Inigo Montoya from The Princess Bride. If you look him up in his current age, he looks like Odin from the game. Odin is not an Anthony Hopkins style in this game. He's very much a smaller, mischievous power, kind of like paranoid dude. So these castings really, really line up really well visually with this. And then for other people who have played the games, actor Alastair Duncan will reprise his role as Mimir from the video games. You've probably seen this, Mike, when you look at God of War. There's like a little horned head on Kratos' hip. He's essentially your video game narrator. He tells you what's going on. So he will be essentially playing the bodiless head Mimir again in the live action version. So I really like these games. I think if you can find the first one, Mike, I don't know, you haven't played the first one, have you? If you can play the first one for like cheap, I'd recommend it.
Yeah, I had a buddy back when I was in, when did those games come out? Middle school, possibly?
06-ish, yeah.
Okay, well, no, it would have been high school. That was really into the God of War franchise, so I would watch him play it a lot. So visually, I'm familiar with like the gameplay and the frenetic action, and it like kind of mainstreamed QuickTime events, if I recall correctly.
That one did, but this one's based on the 2018 Norse one, which I think is even more different than that. Like this plays a lot more. Like it does have the action. It's a lot more, maybe not Souls-like. It does depend on your attacking and your parrying, but like it's not as brutal, but like it's very much a slower paced, less enemies, less frenetic than the one you grew up with from the was the Olympic gods. The Norse one's a little slower, a little more brutal, but the story is fantastic. Even if you put it on easy and play through just for the story, worth every penny in the first movie or first game as well. So we'll see that. Also, I believe the guy Ólafur, I'm gonna butcher this name because I'm trying to think about it too hard. The big guy from Severance, he also was cast in the upcoming How to Train Your Dragon 2 as well this week. So his agent is doing some work for him out there. Get yourself an agent that can get you cast on all these properties, Mike. Moving on to Sex Criminals, but not those sex criminals. The comic book, the Eisner Award-winning comic series, has been picked up as a TV series at Amazon. by this being, I guess, worked on by Kumail Nanjiani, his wife Emily V. Gordon, and Jae Chun. I'm probably butchering that. Who worked on Gremlin's Secret of the Mogwai. And for those who are not familiar with the comic book, it's a 31-issue series wrapped up in 2020. The show's logline will give it away. Sex criminals centers on Susie, a normal girl with an extraordinary ability. When she has sex, she stops time. One night she meets John, who has the same gift, and so they do what any other sex-having, time-stopping couple would do. They rob banks. So, cool, I guess.
If it isn't obvious by the title, the source material is hilarious.
It's adult.
I'm trying to it's been so long, I'm trying to remember if I ever read the second volume. I know I read the first volume, so I'm kind of familiar with like the setup and where kind of it pivots and ends up going. Like there's a slight spoiler, but there is kind of like a time-stopping law enforcement that kind of shows up as like an antagonist, which is really, really funny. And it's really interesting to see them shape the rules around how the kind of the time pausing works. That's really fun. So I think that this is actually really, really good news for Hollywood, only because this is the type of stuff that was getting greenlit just before the pandemic, right? When like streaming was at its peak, and it was like, like it's the South Park joke of like, and you're greenlit, and you're greenlit, and you get a season, and you get to be a TV show, you get to be like they were turning TV shows, anything than TV shows, they were mining like C-list comic books or indie comic books that you've never heard of.
Remember when Vin Diesel was Bloodshot for a little bit?
Yeah, exactly. And then once Hollywood started to turn, all of those projects like dried up. They're like, no, we're not going to risk. We're only using like AAA gold chip IP moving forward. And now that this is coming back in, because I'm almost positive there's a headline where sex criminals was already being turned into something. And I think maybe Matt Fraction was possibly
he's the writer of the comic series.
I think he might have been maybe penning the screenplays or whatever. Yeah. So I think this has already tried to get going. So the fact that it's going again, I think is like good news. Things are starting to come back alive in this town.
Well, this is also adult comic books. The Boys is drying up at Amazon this season with the season 5. They need more adult-oriented comic book material. This would be perfect for that. This aligns I wouldn't say if you're into The Boys, but if you're okay with that kind of, again, adult content, this is where it would live. So, in Amazon, they're on fire with, obviously, Fallout. We'll see how the Lord of the Rings stuff wraps up. But, this is the kind of stuff I'd be interested in. There are a lot of not superhero comic books out there that are really, really good and have small runs or, need to be adapted with that. And that's a good segue into my next topic, Mike. Are you familiar with the Cosmere Universe at all?
So this is funny because I'm only familiar with it because it has gotten so popular of a book series that it has kind of bubbled just into my like periphery. Mm-hmm. There was like a YouTube channel years ago that I was watching where like one of the hosts was like recommending a book. I think it was like an Audible ad maybe. And usually in these Audible ads, they try to like recommend like, a book that you should listen to. And they went on and on about like this Brandon Sanderson universe of like Mistborn or whatever. And so I briefly looked into it. And I was like, okay, it's some sort of fantasy thing or whatever. And then I just forgot about it. Yeah. But now it's reared its head again this week.
Yeah. So I hit my news articles, and then a listener of the show, Marshall, is a huge fan of this. He wrote to tell me about this specifically because he's very excited. And I agree, like, this is actually a very interesting deal. When we talk about the content, I'm not going to pretend we know the content. I've never read this. I've just seen the titles pop up. But Apple TV has gotten the rights to this shared world written by and created by Brandon Sanderson. And it includes the series Mistborn, the Stormlight Archive, Warbreaker, Elantris, and more. There's so many other things. And they've already even got a plan for this in place where Mistborn will be films and Stormlight will be like prestige TV, kind of Game of Thrones kind of thing. It's a magic using fantasy world, so there's rules and systems for this magic that are in place. So if you're a big fan of that, those are how it does it. I believe Mistborn is metal burning is the magic of that world. Like each planet has its own type of magic. But the interesting part about this is that this was optioned, I think, 2018, but it fell through. Is that this whole thing created by Brandon Sanderson? He will also write, produce, consult, and hold approval rights for everything that comes out of this franchise with Apple. And I say Apple TV, but it also does include movies and theatrical releases. This is more than J.K. Rowling and even George R. R. Martin got for their series. Like, this guy has like godlike rights for the stuff he created in a partnership with Apple, who is known for making some really cool sci-fi stuff, like Foundation, right? Like that's on there. Silo, like they're really pushing the sci-fi fantasy stuff. So that is really awesome for him. And this now puts this on our radar, and I might pick up some reading material, Mike, for this.
Yeah, I wonder if he had to take maybe any concessions on maybe overall deal amounts to kind of get that final clearance. I mean, I've seen a lot of people responding to this with like positive reactions. Oh wow, he's writing it all, he's doing it all, he gets like final cut, which is great if he knows how to make TVs and movies. Obviously he knows how to write books. Like he's very accomplished at that. He's written a lot of them. He's a really big expanded universe, but doesn't always translate to screenplays. Absolutely. I mean, all you have to do is look at the Fantastic Beasts movies. Like Rowling wrote all of the screenplays, and they're all so boring and dumb. Yeah. So, and she's a totally different type of person, so maybe that factors into it too. Right. But I love sci-fi, and a new franchise on the looming, which is, I guess, technically original material from this one person. So there's a lot to be excited about.
Yeah, and I think the difference is here, if he's adapting what he's already done, is different than her whenever Rowling wrote the Fantastic Beasts stuff, because it wasn't done yet. Like, there was no adaptation, right? So I think there's a little bit of difference in here, and he'll probably include writers. I don't think he's going to be a one-man thing. He's not James Gunning this universe, probably. He probably needs to bring people in to help with him and get that stuff done, but he'll have like that thing, because he knows what it is and how to connect it all together. I'm excited about something that's not superheroes, have movie and TV connections back and forth, right? Like, Star Wars is doing that for the first time with Mandalorian going to TV, or going to the theaters after been on TV. But I'm excited for this back and forth. How's it play off? And what's Apple's long game, right? Like, apparently this guy also, like you mentioned, he had some cash. Like, a lot of studios were banging on his door to get his stuff. So Apple seems to be, I wouldn't say a wild card, but they do things their own way for the streaming and movie stuff. F1 obviously nominated for an Academy Award, right, this year. So I'm interested to see what it does. I also included a link here for anyone who wants to learn what Cosmere is, written by, or what is the Cosmere, written by, a video with Brandon Sanderson in it. So you can check that out and learn more about it, because obviously this is going to bubble up, and I'll be learning and reading more as we kind of go with it along the way. Moving on, our only trailer this week, Daredevil Born Again got a season 2 trailer. Because Wonder Man's out and Marvel wants you to focus on the next thing. So the season 2 trailer reintroduced us to Kristen Ritter's Jessica Jones. My wife is a huge fan of Jessica Jones, and she did not know she was in this trailer. So I sat down and watched it with knowing that in mind, that she had no idea she was in here. And when she showed up, and it's like, I hope you can walk because I'm not carrying you, she was like, fuck yes. I'm like, oh, awesome. People are excited for this. Not a lot to pull out of here. The Kingpin's Anti-Vigilante Task Force is still in New York. The show's confirmed for March 24th, 2026 on Disney. So them removing that March date a month ago had nothing to do with it. But this looks to be like a fun, maybe action-filled time, Mike. What do you think?
Sadly, it seems like the subject matter in this show is only becoming increasingly more relevant with this anti-vigilante task force looking extremely similar to what's happening right now out in the real world. So maybe it will be kind of cathartic watching Matt Murdock just lose his mind and go crazy on these folks. So maybe it's here just in time.
Yeah, I'm interested. I know they got a season 3 they're working on. I'm interested to see kind of how this leads into that. Will we get the full Defenders by season 3 to wrap up? Will Jessica Jones get her special presentation one shot? I don't know, but we'll see. But I will say the one thing I didn't care about this trailer was the music choice and like the tonal editing. Yeah, no. I know. It didn't match.
Lithonia, Childish Gambino. Well, one thing that I will agree with you a little bit, only because I was trying to Google it, I couldn't find it, but this song was used in another trailer somewhat recently. I don't think it was the previous Daredevil trailer. It was in a different trailer for something else. I couldn't find it. I looked it up, but I was like, oh, they're just doing Lithonia again? I mean, I love the song, but like I didn't know they were just going to do it again. I guess it's like a hype song.
Yeah, it's nothing against the song. I just think it matches tonally with it. Like there's like that cut and like, some of the other stuff going on here. I wasn't very, it just didn't with me, but like that's fine. I'm sure we'll get more. Like it's not going to stop me from watching the show. It's just more like, oh yeah, that's the thing. It did the thing. So Daredevil Born Again season 2 dropping March 24th. I wish they would have given it a different name for season 2. I understand they're not going to rename it every season because that's not what you do with TVs, but I wish it would have been Born Again, like not Born Again. Like, you know what I'm saying? Born Again's done, but we'll take what we can get. All right, into the show here. We got, we're at 45 minutes to this. Let's talk about Wonder Man. Like the limited series, it's called limited series when you look at it. We're going to talk about the whole thing. All 8 episodes dropped this week, Tuesday night on Disney+. It's not a special presentation. What is it called? A Spotlight series. Marvel Spotlight series. Mm-hmm. This is the second one that I know of. The other one being Echo, that was released a couple of years ago. This has also been on the back burner for Marvel. They filmed this a while ago, and they've been waiting to release it with the quality over quantity schedule. So they kept pushing it back. A lot like Ironheart, everything's just been delayed. With this, it was kind of conceived and written / directed by Destin Daniel Cretton, known for doing Shang-Chi. He was also attached to the upcoming Spider-Man Brand New Day coming this year. He was attached to Avengers King Dynasty when it was announced and before it was done. And I'm just trying to get a quick overview. The only precursor to watching this might be Iron Man 3. Is that like the only thing I think that tied into this overall?
Yeah, I think that could be helpful. Trevor Slattery is basically second on the call sheet, to use Hollywood terminology, which seems proper for this show. So knowing his origin, I think, is very helpful.
Yeah, and why he's like famous. I think he's also in Shang-Chi, but his role in Shang-Chi isn't. I guess kind of gives a little bit more to it, but like you don't have to watch. There was
like one or two kind of throwaway lines that kind of made reference to Shang-Chi, but it's very much his time as the Mandarin that's brought up.
Yeah, absolutely. So we can get into this. I think anything else before do we want to say how we felt before we go into spoilers, or do we want to say spoilers because it's like 8 half-hour episodes? One of them's only 23 minutes. Like they're not. It's not a long show by any means.
Yeah, we have a toddler in this house, and we were able to binge this in 1 week. So I think anyone else out there could give it a shot. I mean, if I wanted to be spoiler free, super quick, I'll just say like 2 thumbs up. I loved it. Yeah. It was a high stakes game for me because I love this type of content. TVs or movies about making TV or movies. So like I was saying the other week, I'm either going to hate it because they didn't do a very good job at it, or I'm going to absolutely love it. And of course, I absolutely loved it. I hope Spotlight series does not mean we'll never get any more of it, because I would love to return to Simon and Trevor in some capacity. I suppose we haven't heard any confirmations of them being in Doomsday, but they could possibly pop up in Secret Wars. I don't see why not, but I would love to see more of them. There's still more story to tell here. So yeah, I love it. Yeah. I could very easily recommend this. I could recommend it also because like it's not super predicated on really knowing the superhero universe too much. Like, you know, if you're curious maybe about how Hollywood manages its existence in the world of superheroes, they have an entire episode dedicated to it, which was done very, very creatively. So, Chris, what did you think? And then let's jump on the spoilers.
I agree. I think I'm going to disagree. I think Ben Kingsley was the primary call sheet, and actually, was the second, because they really, really, really undersold how much Ben Kingsley is in this, and like how much rides on their like. It's like a buddy comedy, but like it's not a journey. It's like what 3 days, like 4 days of them together. It feels like for a little bit. Like I know there's a little bit of time jump in the last episode, but like it feels like it's just them being like, you know, coming to terms with friends, and like yes, there's like Wonder Man, or I guess Simon, he's being watched because he has some abilities, but like it's not about superheroes. It's about the movie production industry. It is a I've not watched the studio. I can't say if it's like the studio, Mike, but like it's fun to see this actors playing actors, I guess, if that makes sense. It was like 3 levels deep, and it was so fun to watch them, have their, kind of go through like, getting the callbacks and doing the auditions and how much it meant to them. And, they really sold it, and I really enjoyed it. And I wish the marketing would have done better job selling it, because I think a lot of people would be way more into this, knowing it's Marvel, but it's not superhero related. Like, there's some powers in here, but it's not like, this isn't Iron Man, it's not Captain America. This is just 2 dudes trying to get like the role of a lifetime, if you will, in the movie Wonder Man. And I will say they also do a good job. My wife asked me, "Oh, what's Wonder Man like in the comic books?" I'm like, "Nope, not doing that. You do not want to know how different this is from the comic books, like by a long shot." So really appreciate them not having, like you said, you don't have to do your homework on anything. So I had a great time. I loved it. I'd recommend to anybody. A lot of people I know who would probably normally dislike superhero shows have written to me and said they enjoyed it as well. So I think that's a testament of this. Might have some legs and might get those view numbers to maybe get them a secondary thing. I would love to see them, if I was going to put them like maybe they show up in Shang-Chi too, like as ancillary characters, or because again, Trevor was in Shang-Chi 1 because he pretended to be the Mandarin, and the Mandarin really got him. But now, that guy, Tony Winmu's Mandarin, is essentially he sacrificed himself in that movie. Spoiler alert for a 6-year-old film, I guess. But he's kind of released of that, like, oh, the real Mandarin can't get me anymore. Not that was ever a big part, but had a good time, love it, recommend it. Let's get into spoilers, because I feel like I'm going to say too much and I don't want to, because it's just so there's a lot in here for 8 half-hour, 20-minute episodes, right? Like a lot more. I will say I didn't expect the episode 4, the Doorman episode about the Doorman clause, why superheroes don't work in Hollywood, being black and white the whole time. That was interesting. That was a creative choice I didn't expect. Nor was Josh Gad singing a remix to his a summertime Olaf song from Frozen.
It was really funny. It reminded me a little bit, if anybody watched Entourage back in the day, that show was great at bringing in celebrities playing themselves, and then they convinced them like, oh, do you want to play like a really like annoying version of yourself because it'll be really entertaining, and Josh Gad kind of walks that line of being a little insufferable but also for the sake of entertainment. They keep it a little bit safer than what Entourage would do back in the day. But that episode was particularly fun because I didn't really know where it was going at first. I think at the end of the very 3rd episode, Simon does drop the Doorman character's like real name, or maybe he says like Doorman or something, but I didn't really know what he said, and I kind of went in one ear and out the other. And then the next episode starts and it's like all black and white, and I don't know what's going on. And then it wasn't until like halfway through the episode do I go, oh, I think we're seeing the origins of why superheroes can't work in Hollywood. So it kind of snuck up on me, and that was a fun little reveal.
Yeah, I kind of wish they would have given us a post-credit scene with them finding Josh Gad or something, like telling us where he was, because he's essentially disappeared inside of Doorman at some point, and we don't know where he is. But it's fun. Like it's this show was definitely a surprise on every turn. When that one guy films them with the GoPro, so they have to go steal or get his bike back or something. And you like, oh, they're making drugs in here, Breaking Bad. So I was like, no, we're making tahini candy. like that's all. and the other guy's like, yeah, I just got greedy on the candy. I'm like, this is so funny. Like, it's very unexpected.
Yeah. And it's also it's an interesting, realistic way to do it too, because like, yeah, I suppose it's like, you know, it's Disney Plus. You're a superhero show. You know, it's like, I guess you're living within the PG-13 realm. So yeah, you could show drugs, but this is kind of like a fun way to subvert it and keep it light. Like whenever Simon and Trevor are in the car going somewhere, it's just, it's always hilarious. It's always so funny. And their dynamic is just great. Like Ben Kingsley, like, is just nailing the performance.
His devil may care. He is such a good actor too. Like an actor playing an actor. Like watching his like reactions and stuff. Like at the end of I think it was episode, whenever Von Kovac tells them, "Hey, we're gonna," you know, right before they find out they're hired, like they think they're both gone, and like the range of emotions on his face of like disappointment and like sadness and like, okay, this is part of, you know, the Hollywood life. I was like watching it, like probably more because it's a show about acting. I was watching the acting even more closely, and I was like, this is just awesome. He does such a great job.
Yeah, and it makes so much sense. I read this week that originally this show kind of evolved out of a standalone Trevor Slattery show. I guess they were going to do something with him. I don't know how early in development it was. This definitely sounds like an idea that was greenlit out of the Chapek era of like, make 1,000 things and do it now. So I guess it makes sense. Yeah, he's in it so much because originally, like, oh yeah, this is a Ben Kingsley vehicle, and it makes total sense. I mean, you got Ben Kingsley, like, you know, on contract. Let's get him in some stuff. And I'm just so happy that it turned out so well. And, you know, Iron Man 3 is not my most favorite MCU movie. And I was not super sold by the turn of events of turning the Mandarin into just like a goofy one-off joke. But weirdly enough, like, Marvel has done a really good job, like actually like making me
bring it around,
happy that moment exists. And they brought it around. Like they've done a really good job of just like, oh yeah, he was just an actor. Like the character himself was kind of unredeemable. He was just buying drugs and prostitutes, so he needed to pay that off. And since we're meeting the character like in recovery, he can just like talk about it very earnestly of just like, oh yeah, no, I'm not shying away from it. This is what I did. You know, I'm on the better path. So like people can just bring it up to him and he just like pushes past it and he keeps moving forward. He's like, because he loves acting and that's what he wants to do. And it feels like it's just a very good writing. It's just very straightforward. You introduce your main characters, we have their goals, and then you put roadblocks in front of them to add drama. It's like they didn't try to reinvent the wheel here, and it just all plays out very, very well.
And I will say it got to the point where Simon Williams, guy who plays him, did such a great job that he was so fucking annoying on set of like American Horror Story, where he's like, I'm doing this, and I was like, you just need to die and lay here in the blood, and then like, oh, you're fired, and they all applaud him because it was his last day on set and his part was cut. I was like, and then he was like doing that later, like in the episode with Von Kovac, and Trevor was like, just change it to where it says, I will never forgive you. Like, and I was like, yeah, solved. Like Trevor's that devil may care, like, you know, wherever the wind takes me is fine. I'm good with that. That's, you know, the way life has. And Simon's like, I need to control everything or I'm going to panic attack. So it was very much that yin and yang. It was so good to see that. And honestly, like you said, like them together were like some of the best parts. Like you mentioned the car, like when they get in the car, seatbelts slide back, like the old seatbelts that go up and back. You know, they're running from the guys trying to shoot them. And honestly, like it was a very, like, even the turn of events at the end where, you know, you find out Trevor was, you know, the DODC hired Trevor to spy on Simon, and it's like they didn't try to hide it or drag it out. It was a reveal, and then it was handled right there, right? Like it wasn't like, oh my god, what are they gonna do? Like they're gonna mope around, and then they bring it back around again, Mike, where, you know, Trevor gets to play the Mandarin yet again to take blame from the explosion, and
and I think maybe one of my favorite episodes might have been the last episode. I love the part where, you know, he goes to do his like method acting with this just like random dude out in the desert. And then I kind of started picking up on, I was like, oh, I think I know what he's doing here. Yeah. You know, he is using his superpower, which is actually acting is his superpower. Yeah. And his, what is it? He ionizes atoms, or what did they call it? I don't remember.
He's got ionic energy. Like essentially he's ionic
energy.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like that's like his secondary superpower. Like he's like, I'm going to literally act my way into the Supermax prison. Yeah. And if you would have done that maybe in a movie or even at the beginning of the show, it would be a little unbelievable, right? Yeah. But you spend all of these episodes with them and you're like, oh no, I get it. Like they are really into their craft. Like I could now believe that if one of them just dedicated weeks and weeks and weeks getting really close to somebody and just like working them every day to get into their place of work, like this is very believable. Yeah. And then I like that he did the right thing of like just depositing like a ton of money so he could quit that job. And then they just fly off into the sunset. Yeah. I'm like, I need more of these characters. So you were bringing up if they showed up possibly in the next Shang-Chi movie. Now that I think about it, that's like a really good idea because like Trevor Slattery, he's like he's like an escaped fugitive officially. So where is he gonna go?
Twice,
right? Yeah. So they can't really go back to Hollywood. But like if they could track down Shang-Chi, you know, Trevor was like very integral to like him and his hero's journey. So he kind of owes him a favor. Like maybe wherever he's hanging out, they're hanging out, and then they go off on their supposed wreckage of time journey, maybe if that still ends up being the movie.
Yeah, it may not be wreckage of time, but I think, you know, Destin Daniel Cretton has given us again 2 Trevor Slattery movies and only 1 Shang-Chi movie so far, and he's done a great job like handling the character and the material in both of them. Like I would trust him taking these characters to meet those characters in a heartbeat. Because to me, like I agree with you, the end part, like the ending, it ends abruptly. Simon got to be in there. They had Joey Pants fill in as the Barnaby, right, in the movie. Like they even had the joke.
Great dig.
They had like a whole episode with him, and it's so funny. And then they get but the episode just stops because again, it's the show wasn't about Wonder Man and his powers, like you said. It was about the Hollywood process and acting. And literally, Simon took everything he learned from Trevor and applied that to getting into the facility, right? They didn't do it in 5 minutes. It was like 15 minutes of that episode was him getting in there to get him out, and it was really cool. And he even sang that country song, whatever that country song was. Like, hey, you saw me at the bar doing karaoke. Mm-hmm. It was so good. We just finished the last 3 episodes today. I don't know if it's something I need to go back and rewatch, but it has just been like the journey was really fun for these characters, and I can't put my finger on it, but it's just the camaraderie and the earnestness of this show that really goes a long way for it.
Yeah, I think this is a really good sign because I wasn't really super familiar with the work of Destin Daniel Cretton before he kind of exploded onto the scene with Shang-Chi. And, for the most part, we like Shang-Chi. The third act has some things that, don't excite me that much. But overall, I liked how he brought the character to life. And then I'm just looking at his IMDb right now because I forgot that he was an executive producer on Tokyo Vice, which is like a show I loved. And then he comes out with this Wonder Man. It's just like, oh, I think I'm actually like a really big fan of Destin Daniel Cretton, and I didn't realize it was happening in real time. So he is the guy who's taken the helm of the next Spider-Man movie. He is going to be the brand new day guy. So if we were, worried that, the director seat was changing for, I guess, the next trilogy of Tom Holland movies, maybe we don't really have to be so worried.
Yeah, and honestly, the fact that Marvel gave him the King Dynasty first, they were like, we trust you, to handle an Avengers movie, that's also saying something, right? This is before everything had to be shifted around, and, obviously Chapek era shoved everything into the thing. It was way, way different story back then, but, if Marvel's you can do an Avengers movie, we like you. Also, you can do a Wonder Man show. No one asked for Wonder Man, right? That's the thing, Mike, right? Nobody asked for this. Nobody knows who Wonder Man is. We don't need real Wonder Man from comic book Wonder Man in this, but it was great to see it, and I'm glad. This really gave me, I was going to say, Werewolf by Night vibes, right? The buddies, Werewolf by Night and Man thing in that one, right? Like the buddies here, like very yin and yang, and I'd love to see where it goes. But like, I do start to see the seeds of the Department of Damage Control leading into the Spider-Man movie and the future of in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, even after probably Doomsday and Secret Wars, because I didn't expect them to have such a big role in this, right? Like they were like that guy was in everything, and I want to say that actor was in Spider-Man too, right? I believe.
He was in. Was he in Miss Marvel?
Maybe Miss Marvel. Yes,
when
Miss Marvel.
Damage Control.
Yeah, he was. He was in Miss Marvel. I'm sorry.
And I really like the way that they added a little bit of nuance to that department in this show. I didn't really like their addition in Miss Marvel as much as I love Kamala Khan's character in that show and her when she was in the Marvels as well. But Damage Control, it just kind of seemed like something tacked on of like, oh, we need an antagonist. Let's just... I guess not invent it. You know, the comic books invented it, but let's just throw it in there as like, you know, no, these are bad guys that have the authority to go after you. It just felt very tacked on.
Well, it's been evolving. It's the education portion, right? Because they were actually in. If you remember the very first Spider-Man movie, Homecoming? Mm-hmm. That's the company who took over. They
were doing like the cleanup.
Yeah, and I did look it up. This guy was in Spider-Man No Way Home. He was the guy who was in there with when Matt Murdock showed up. He was the guy they were talking to. So he's been in all three of those, Miss Marvel, Wonder Man, and Spider-Man No Way Home.
I like how they painted them as basically like, you know, an arm of the federal government that could go away at any moment, right? They kind of have to prove their worthiness and their existence, so it kind of puts them on the back foot. It gives a little bit more motivation of why like Trevor is getting leaned on so hard.
Yeah. And it's all about kiss-assing in the office. He's like, it was thanks to your leadership and everything, we got this done, right? Like, and hopefully, you know, moving forward, they can flesh out a little bit more, because as of right now, it's very scattered. Like I saw somebody put on screenshots of that Supermax prison that has been visibly shown in two other MCU projects. I think Miss Marvel, I don't know, it has like a brief shot of it, and then there's another property that shows the prison. And She-Hulk.
I had zero idea. She-Hulk. And I had no idea.
Yeah.
Like, I guess in She-Hulk it makes sense because she goes to that prison, but I don't remember what it looked like. And it has a visual flair to it, for sure. But, you know, there's so much time in between the viewings of it, and we never really get to spend much time there.
They have that, and they also did the raft in Captain America, so you never know where the fuck you are in these buildings. I think the Miss Marvel one is actually probably closer to New York than this one was, but that's a different story.
And the raft is so much more iconic because it was introduced, you know, in an MCU film. We got an extensive look at it in the Marvel Zombies.
Yeah,
you know.
I know. Yeah, but like they need to wrap. Who is holding all these prison like superpowered people? They just need to bring that together. We know it's not SHIELD. Just give us an actual Department of Damage Control. Are they the villains? Are they the heroes? What's going on? I think we'll get that in Spider-Man Brand New Day. But anyway, sorry to hijack that. They're not the highlight. Like, it was great to see, you know, obviously whenever Trevor went, he had to go to the bathroom all the time in this. Not really, but like he snapped the card, the recording. Like he kind of knew his value as well towards the end. It's like, you can't bring a terrorist into a courtroom to testify. No one will believe you. So it was fun. You know, I again, like I said, it felt great. I love the journey with these guys and their energy and, you know, freneticness a little bit was just so much fun to see. I did enjoy. It did catch me off guard in that one scene where he was dreaming and he punched that guy through the head. And I was like, oh shit! And then he woke up. I'm like, oh, okay, got it, makes sense.
It was such a unique effect too, right? You know, I feel like we've seen a similar shot to that in like every season of The Boys, and you know, it's visceral. There's lots of fluid and viscera flying around, but in this one it's almost like
charred.
It's like punching like sand or like charcoal or, you know, something like that. So it was very taken aback.
Yeah. But yeah, I had a good time. Like I would recommend this to anybody, even those on the fence. This is going to surprise and delight you more than I think it would. And if you need that superhero fatigue, they even touch on the idea of superhero fatigue in this, like very early on. Mm-hmm. I understand that, and then some people may not want it, but this will definitely not fatigue you with superheroes along the way, if that makes sense. Any other closing notes on Wonder Man, Mike, before we wrap it up here?
Go watch it so we can get more.
That's right. Watch these shows that give us the good stuff. Agreed. This and the Muppet Show on Disney Plus this week. You get 2 things to watch. You're gonna love it. That's like 9.5-hour episodes. You'll be done in no time. You'll love it. Well, Mike, that's the episode today. If people want to know what you're up to, what you're doing, where can they find you at, buddy?
Oh, as always, you can read my webcomics at pickledcomics.com or liferewardsrisk.com. Chris, if people want to catch up with you, where can they find you?
Find me on Instagram, Valdan87, VALDAN, or video games systems with the same name. If people want to know more about the show, what we're doing, where they can send us those Super Bowl snack ideas, because this is the last week to do it. Well, we're going to be recording before the game next week. Where can they find all our stuff and send that stuff too?
Yeah, well, if you're looking for our latest headshots or self-tapes or, just our audition reels, you can find that over at superheroslate.com. Best place to find everything we do here at the show. We're on Apple Podcasts, YouTube, Spotify, wherever else you love to listen to podcasts. I swear we're like one of the last podcasts that doesn't demand your eyeballs, just your earballs. Mm-hmm. So we love our super fans. If you want to be a super fan of this show, all you have to do is share the show with a friend, share the show with a buddy, and we will be here every week, folks.
That's right. We'll catch you guys next week.
Bye.